and you download the CPKT file and or the safe tensor file and put it in. It's like StableDiffusion models or something within the automatic 1111 installation folders.
Whereabouts do you think I save it? I don't know if you want to do this.
In the automatic 1111 installation folders, you should see a directory there called models. Let's have a look. StableDiffusion Web UI, extensions, models. Yeah, there's a folder called models
Modules?
and models.
Oh, no, okay. Sorry,
Yep.
I didn't see that.
So just pop it in there, I think, unless there's any subfolders. I don't think there's any subfolders.
There is.
Oh, okay. Put it in the StableDiffusion one.
Okay. Yep. So then I would just grab that from here somewhere. So that's copying the whole URL. So I just have to wget it. Okay.
Oh, that's not that. Yeah, just download there's a button on there.
Is there?
Should be. On the right-hand side, should be a CPKT thing in Hugging Face or Safe Tensors. I haven't got it open, but.
Oh, you can't see my screen, sorry.
Oh, there we
Download
go.
the.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So we go back to the terminal here for anyone who's following along. I guess this is 2 gigs, so it'll take
Yeah,
a
it
few
is too
minutes.
big. Yep, that's right.
But essentially what you're saying you do is you download that into the models file, then the UI will pick that up, and we can just theoretically reload this page, select the different model, use the same prompt, and see what different results we get.
Yep.
Is that how you would?
Yep.
These
Hopefully
look
it
like
works.
people doing. That looks like a girl going for a run. That's.
I can't see. It's still seeing the terminal. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway.
And then if we just change the prompt to be, I don't know, photo of, I think with the dreamlike one, I think that's a tag that they use, a class name, which will give you a more detailed image.
I would take the art by these guys out to generate the image. What do you think? Do we want a photo or do we want?
I don't know. I haven't tried an artist. Oh yeah, if the artist is highly stylized, then it might not be the style we want. So yeah, it depends how, do you want realistic ones? Do you want animated ones? Do you want, yeah.
Okay. So we're 59% of the way there. Yeah, then the challenge would be like, how do you see composing the different images together? So once we have the script, I guess we didn't talk about that at all in this video. We would use a library to read it out.
Yep.
So what was that library we were playing with the other day?
The text to speech library we're looking at is TORTS, TORTISE, I believe. And that is one that you can run locally, and it's super realistic voices. And you can choose a bunch of different voices. You can train it on your own voice. Heavily uses the GPU. We've tested it, Nathan and I, on his 3090. Works quite well. Yeah, it's a good way to get pretty realistic speech. Of course, there's a number of APIs that you can use that you pay so many cents per. I can see the video quality of mine's just coming back now, but probably because you're downloading the file. Yeah, so Tortoise TTS, that's one that we're going to use in our framework for any kind of video generation that we do. And so there's 2 things we need to do, right? One is convert the text from the script to speech. And then after that, we probably should adopt a library like Whisper to get, and another extension to that to get the word timings. So we know when certain events occur in the video, like a certain sentence or a certain chapter or a certain scene change where we want the image to go. And as long as we can get those start and end times, which you can use various tools to do for it's called a problem called forced alignment, where you're trying to align existing text that you might have with a word level timing of a script, so you can figure out where to trim or add an image in a video. So oh yeah, cool. This is the new Dreamlike Photo Reel.
Yeah. So I'll just generate a bunch, I guess.
You can maybe put in the negative prompts. I'll also hit restore faces too, if it does any faces.
Okay.
And it might actually do better on photo. I think photo needs to be lowercase. I think that's a specific tag.
One thing I was going to say was that this prompt I think is not terribly good. Photo cyberpunk. What was it supposed to be, like beautiful? Beautiful cyberpunk girl leaping from rooftop to rooftop as she flees from police. Foreground, cities, I would just say city skyline visible, neon lights, towering buildings, urban jungle. Authorities can be seen. I would say police. Police can be seen police chasing girl. Yeah, and I would see that they generated something.
Sorry, I was going to say just hit restore faces, which is just under the sampling method.
I'm just going to grab some of these other terms that I use from another prompt.
Oh, yeah.
Just bear with me 1 second. And I'll just copy and paste them in.
Maybe add things like, if you're looking at those images, maybe rain, it's rainy, or dark streets, or nighttime, just to add a bit more mystery to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put on, sorry, bear with me. I know this is probably not terribly exciting. You might want to edit this out later. It's a realistic full body wide shot. Full body wide shot. I updated the prompt. It's quite long now, so I don't even know if it will fit in the.
Yeah, you've got 75 characters with Automac 1111, I believe. While you're doing that, I'll explain some things that have been running in the background on my computer. And I explained earlier about script generation / video generation tool that I've been working on. And the whole goal of that is to create a small short stories. Okay, it's doing some interesting
It's
things.
changing. Yeah, this model is the one that's not safe for work. So you got to be careful about what you put in.
That's
I
true.
put in a beautiful girl and photorealistic. So before I put the images back on the screen, I think I'm gonna check that it's safe.
Yeah. So I'll explain my thing again. So my goal was, I've already written scripts that automatically generate a script prompt through GPT API, which given some kind of narrative. So my input was, Roger is the last of his kind, a powerful android tasked with protecting the last remnants of humanity from an alien invasion. So I generated that concept and idea with GPT, but it could be just a short, even if you just give it, Roger is the last of his kind fighting a war, like that would also work. Anyway, I've written then other prompts that generate the story for me. And I'll just read a snippet to you about the story. It says, it was supposed to be a peaceful morning. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, and the promise of a new day was in the air. But Roger knew better. He knew that something was wrong. As the last of his kind, a powerful android tasked with protecting the last remnants of humanity from an alien invasion, he was attuned to the subtle shifts in the atmosphere. Something was coming and it wasn't going to be good. Roger quickly activated his sensors and began scanning the planet, searching for whatever had roused him from his slumber. To his horror, he discovered a massive armada of alien warships heading towards Earth. He had to act fast or humanity would be wiped out. So this might not be for kids, but it's interesting. He quickly formulated a plan. He would gather what was left of humanity and lead them to safety. He would protect them with his advanced technologies to keep them out of harm's way until the alien armada had passed. So that is an example. I've only given it 1 minute to work with here, so it's pretty difficult to generate that in 1 minute. And I might be able to show you. And let me just see if it generated. I think it's still going.
Other ones were not safe for work, so I removed some of the terms.
Yeah. Okay. I'll share my screen. Still generating the final put, I think.
Okay, I think these ones will be better.
I'll just quickly share my screen. If I share my screen, will it share?
I can just go back to the camera side angle.
Okay. All right, cool. So can you see my screen? My computer is currently having a workout because it's exporting a video. I think, yeah, CPU's pretty high at the moment. So I don't think I can pipe the audio in, but that's a video that it's generated. That's the android, Roger, who's protecting mankind and is scanning everything, and there's a bit of rain and a smoke overlay happening. Then shortly there'll be an output video, but essentially that video will have a captions. So the story will be there, and there's also a voice. At the moment, I'm just using Amazon Poly, but eventually I'll use this tortoise framework to create kind of a voice that is reading the story out loud. Yeah, and so it's all about that prompt engineering though, to make it a really good script first and foremost, then getting a realistic voice, and then getting all of the images synced up to do something like what Nathan suggests, is that every 3 seconds is change the image. But at the moment, you can see my program's just creating all of the outputs, because combining overlays and smoke and the image all is quite time consuming from a video editing point of view when you're rendering it out. But yeah, it's similar sort of idea to what Nathan's coming up with, except I try not to do any manual steps because I'm lazy.
Like all good engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one generated some kind of crazy images. Some of them you might want to, they're not safe for work, but
A bit
they're
provocative.
they're a bit provocative. Yeah, so I guess I'll just go through them quickly, and I don't know if you can post them out if you think. But this was after changing the prompt, jumping off the roof like city to city, trying to escape the police. So she looks like she's like about to fall backwards off the roof there.
Maybe we should have just used a guy, because it's just gone and done all these model poses.
It has. But like some of them, like this one, for example. So that's where it is. You need to generate like a bunch of them in order to get like good results. But yeah, it could easily be a cyberpunk guy, and it doesn't really incorporated the police in there enough for like my liking. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Too many bikinis, I think, for a
I don't know.
cyberpunk.
Must be a cyberpunk theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I put in police there, but realistic. Police girl leaping from police.
Maybe instead of beautiful girl, maybe use like terms like geek, hacker, stuff like that, just because I feel like this model's triggered by some of those things.
Yeah, I just put in, I haven't actually generated it, but it did say with this model you have to put in
Yep.
these negative terms. So it didn't
Yes.
generate it with that, but I'm thinking if I do, that should probably just generate better results straight away. Yeah, look, straight
Yeah,
away.
that's way better. Yeah.
I think it was probably the negative keywords that make the difference.
Yeah.
Look, that one's actually jumping off a building now. So anyway, all this to say that with a little bit of work, fine tuning, I guess you would come up with a theme, and then that would be the theme for you'd probably want to do a series, because the amount of effort that goes into trying to create the theme, like engineering the prompts,
Yep.
you'd probably want to create like a mini series of stories, not just one, to make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Would be my thinking.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing, in terms of building a YouTube channel around it, is one of the biggest metrics for YouTube is watch time. So yeah, it can be a little.
But if 200 people watch 1 minute of this video or of our short, versus I don't know how many people are going to make it this far through this video,